guess, Jonathan, what was going through your head when the onside kick was called there?
Yeah, so I think I hit a field goal, and then they called a TV timeout, and they called the play, but I just had to make sure that they called the right play because I didn't think we were actually going to run it. So we ran it, and, we were lucky to get it back.
Have you kicked many onside kicks? I mean, high school, collegiate career, but up to then, or?
I think I've maybe kicked 3 onside kicks my whole life.
Talk about kicking 3 onside kicks. I mean, how often, as a kicker at the high school ranks, the college ranks, did you kind of practice and prepare that? And how long did it kind of take you to kind of nail like that bounce, and just that exact distance that you want?
Yeah, we practiced all week on different ways to kick it, different ways to position the ball to see, what's the best way to get the bounce or to get it back so it doesn't go as far so we can get at 10 yards. And I think we found the right one.
So I'm curious, you said you had to make sure. How did you go about making sure without Auburn seeing that you were inquiring as to the call?
Yeah, so I took my normal steps, and, they took the same approach and everything, and they had a big gap open, and so we just took advantage of that.
I mean, excuse my ignorance, but how complicated are kicking play calls? Is it a big, long name like sometimes you hear on offense, or they just say, oh, we're doing the onside kick?
Yeah, we just called it. We're just onside kick that we've been practicing all week, and we kicked it.
Is there a feel when it came off your foot, like a golf shot, you can feel it that it was a good kick? Or I mean,
yeah, it felt good coming to my foot, but when it took that bounce, sometimes you're kind of scared if it's gonna just die down or something. But it took the bounce high enough for it to carry 10 yards.
So I guess walk us through in your head once you do it. What are you doing as it's making that 10-yard journey? What were you doing or kind of going through your head?
Yeah, so I took my steps, backed up, kicked it, and I was just watching, make sure that we weren't offsides, and just making sure that the people on the right side were going to block and not take any cheap shots, and making sure that we recovered the ball.
You're talking about that feedback on the kickoff. When you kick field goals, when you hit it a certain way or you feel a certain way off a certain foot, even before you see the trajectory of the ball or where it's at going to the goalpost, you just look at it and you're just like, yeah, that's on the money.
Yeah, you have a feeling whenever you hit it. Like if it's a field goal and I know I hit it bad, then I just know before picking my head up. But on that onside kick, it felt good.
How would you kind of evaluate your season as a whole so far? I know it's not too many field goals for you, but just it seems like you've been pretty accurate.
Yeah, I think I've done a pretty good job, coming out here and practicing and working every day to get better. The battery, me, Jared, and Kincaid have been working hard just to get our operation down and be as consistent as we can to help the team win in that matter of field goals.
When you as a kicker are watching a situation like the end of that Alabama-Tennessee game, what do you feel? Is there empathy going on? Just kind of how do you feel about those experiences?
Yeah, it's definitely, I feel for other kickers that go through that, but when you make that, it's the best feeling in the world.
I mean, you're going to be, maybe kicking in front of, one of the more hostile environments kind of in college football coming up. I mean, what's, the biggest, I guess, the toughest crowd that you've, kicked in to date? And, what was that kind of like in that moment?
Yeah, I mean, I've kicked, here at Ole Miss, we have a great crowd, and I've kicked in Knoxville before, and I kicked at Clemson. So I just feel like just being composed and making sure that I control what I can control is the biggest key for me.
I don't know which situations those were in, but when you're in those type of situations, I mean, what's the first thought that kind of goes through your head, just preparing for that moment, and then obviously when the moment comes?
Yeah, just making sure that my technique's down and making sure I'm calm as possible, because during those moments, sometimes you might overthink things, and I just try to stay in the moment.
You talk about staying in the moment. I mean, is there like just a particular thing that you tell yourself that like, hey, you're just doing your job, or? Yeah,
I just tell myself that I've been in this situation plenty of times, and you've done it before, and you can do it again. Thank you.